Joining us now is former Florida Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. He's a 22-year veteran of the United States Army. Colonel, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. So, pretty simple question. Tucker. Can the president make good on that promise?
Of course he can, and I think that he doesn't understand the series of miscalculations and unintended consequences that can come from it. And I think going back and trying to use Iraq and Afghanistan, it was really a disingenuous cheap shot. First of all, we need to understand that the casualty rates under the Obama presidency has increased in Afghanistan. And then furthermore, with Iraq, if the president had maintain some type of strategic vision instead of a campaign promise and done as the generals recommended, leaving a residual force in Iraq, we probably would not have Iran transiting through Iraq on the ground and through airspace to reinforce Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Now, I will tell you that the president did not mention the word Libya, which is a venture, military action that he embarked upon without congressional approval. And look at what happened in Libya. We deposed Muammar Gaddafi. Now we have Islamists all over the place. And unfortunately, on this 9/11, the 12th anniversary, we will sadly have to remember the death of 4 Americans to which no support came to. And now Islamists are all over Libya, even training based upon Al-Qaeda and Muslim Brotherhood influence individuals to go to Syria to fight.
Right.
So he has no idea about the unintended consequences.
One of those unintended consequences, Colonel, I want to pick up on something you're just talking about there, are these radicals, the Islamists and the rebels in Syria. Can we be assured in any kind of capacity that they're on our side, that when we degrade Assad's forces, that somehow democracy will take hold in a country?
No, absolutely not. And you see that played out in Egypt when the president embraced the Muslim Brotherhood and President Morsi there, and what happened, and thank God the Egyptian military is taking action against them. Look, Tucker, very simply, the only way that you can ensure that chemical weapons are not used by anyone in Syria is to go in and secure the chemical weapons stockpiles. And when the president says we're not going to put boots on the ground, that means that those chemical weapons stockpiles will remain there for Hezbollah, for the Syrian army, for the rebel forces, for whoever, to get control of them and continue to proliferate them all through Syria. So this feel-good thing, this emotional thing that you have talked about of going in and bombing airfields and bombing empty hangars and things of that nature, that's not going to degrade his capability. And even so, if it does degrade his capability, then it's going to elevate the ability of these rebel forces who are backed by Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Muslim Brotherhood, to have the upper hand. And the Free Syrian Army would have to defeat Syria's Assad's army and then also have to defeat the Islamists. So he's just causing a bigger conundrum, and this is an emotional tug. And I tell you, the American people need to stand firm. Our representatives need to stand firm and not grant approval.
Well, what you just said, it seems to me the nub of the problem. It's remarkably complex, the situation on the ground in Syria, and it's not at all clear what our goal is. You don't lob rockets at a capital without some expectation of what you want. Like, what do we want? Do we want the Assad regime to fall, to be replaced by whom? What's our strategy here?
Well, that's the most important thing. There is no clear strategic, operational, or tactical goal or objective. There is no clear understanding what the end state is. Everyone keeps saying that we have to do something. I will tell you that if you do something and you don't do it effectively, then you can cause, like I said, the second and third order effects that you're not prepared to contend with. You know, this administration has not thought through the action, reaction, counteraction decision matrix that the military is taught to do. And earlier you talked about the different machinations of all of these strategic plans. They are not clear in what they want to have accomplished.
Well, we'll see what the president says this morning on all these Sunday talk shows and what sort of answers before he addresses the nation on Tuesday. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, always great to see you here on Fox and Friends. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
A voice of experience.